What is up, guys, and welcome back to another initial focus video, and today taking a look at some lenses. So today we're going to be taking a look at the difference between a cine style lens and a photographical lens, and some reasons you may want to go one way or the other. Now, to start off with the extreme basics here, if you totally have no idea and have never heard the word cine style before, the differences between these cameras is really going to be the fact that a photographical lens is meant for usually still photography, and a cine style lens is meant for film or video. Now, that's not to say you can't take either of these lenses and use them on the opposing types of cameras, but that is what they are kind of originally meant for when they were manufactured. Now, these both happen to be a 35mm lens. That's why I have them both out here. This is technically a 35 to 80 Nikon camera. This is a older one, so this isn't the new 35 prime lens, and this is indeed a 35 prime lens from Rokinon. So all my cine style lenses are Rokinon lenses. And the reason they are actually is kind of a myth of cine style lenses, that they are crazy expensive. Now, just like photographical lenses, they certainly can be. Rokinon makes a series of professional cine lenses that are, $2,500, $7,000 for the bundle or something like that, something crazy. This guy here was $500, and while this, like I said, is an older one, so it's only like $60. I'll link it down in the description below if you like the idea of this. But the new 35mm from Nikon is $500 as well, so comparable to the Rokinon lens. So price-wise, you can get a cine style or a photographical lens in the same price category. Most photographical lenses, especially ones that come with the cameras, often called kit lenses, makes sense, often have multiple focal lengths. So like I mentioned before, this is a 35 to 80mm lens, which means that I can go from 35mm and zoom in to 80 and back to 35 and anywhere in between if I so choose. Compared to my cine style lenses, I'm not sure if there is any cine style non-prime lens. Definitely let me know down in the comments below if you know of one, but most cine style lenses that I've ever seen are always prime lenses, and what prime lenses mean is it doesn't zoom in or out. This is 35mm. One of the next big key features between the two lenses is what is called a declicked aperture. So again, going back to photography and filmmaking 101 here, if you don't know what aperture is, that is how open and closed the iris of the lenses, aka how much light comes in or how little light comes in. It also is what controls your depth of field. If I'm at T1.5, for example, only a small number of things in my scene are going to be in focus, which is used a lot of the time for close-ups, so you get that nice pretty face in soft focus, and then the background is completely blown out. And a lot of times you need to change your aperture on the fly. And for pictures, it doesn't matter. If I take a picture over here, that's one aperture, and then if I walk outside, that can be a totally different aperture, and that's just fine. But for video, you may have a scene where you start inside and you walk outside, or if you walk outside and walk inside. And on this lens here, I don't know if you can hear it, but most lenses nowadays don't have this actual aperture lens anymore. It's all done within the camera, but this one still has a manual aperture ring, and you can actually hear it click. Anytime I change the aperture on this, not only is it going to make an audible sound, it's easy to not record that sound if you have off-camera recording, but you'll actually see a little bit of a stutter every time you change it in the video, which I'll throw up an example here now. So you can actually see every time you change the aperture, it almost like jumps. It kind of looks like a dropped frame or something. As we're on the cine style lens here, when I go and change the aperture ring, it's just like the focus ring where it's done very smoothly. And I've used this in a couple of my videos in the past where I'll be aimed at a light source and then I slowly pan over to an object, and obviously I'm going from a high aperture to a low number aperture without hopefully anyone noticing. At least it's a lot easier. And the next big key feature here is going to be an aesthetic difference. A photographical lenses a lot of time have, these little grippy things so your hand can grip the focus, and in this case a zoom ring so you can easily change things. But I knew that I wanted a full kind of setup for my cinematic camera. So what's really nice about these Cine style lenses is the aperture ring and the focus ring have these little grooves here, and what those are for is a follow focus rig. So this is my follow focus. It's a camera follow focus system. Again, I'll link it down in the description below. I've used this in a bunch of my latest videos. And so with this, I can simply have my camera mounted on here, and then this obviously attaches to the camera. And then each of these little grooves sits in between a groove on the follow focus system. So now I can just turn the handle here and it focuses. And the last big point I want to make isn't necessarily a difference so much between Cine style and photographical lenses, but just more prime versus zoom lenses. And that is, I kind of touched upon it before, but composition. Prime lenses will force you to be a lot more just creative with the different shots you get. So every time I want to get a new shot with this lens has really forced me to come up with new and creative pans and zooms and tilts and sliders and everything to get a different look of shot. With photographical lenses, I could always kind of take the easy way out and just zoom in and out and find that perfect focal length if I wanted to get a subject in focus. So either way you go, you can get good priced, good quality lenses for what you want to do. But it really comes down to if you want to get into rigs and full cinema and kind of film is your thing, Cine lenses are very nice to have. And specifically Rokinon as a brand, so far I've had nothing but good luck with them. I haven't had all the experience in the world with Cine lenses, so I can't compare them right now to Zeiss and any other Canon Cine lenses or anything, but I like Rokinon especially for the price and the build quality. But I also still very much like my photographical lenses for still photography on my Nikon cameras. So there you guys have it, a little look. Hope you learned a couple things, and hopefully if you are in the same position I was a couple months ago, you can be a little bit more educated when you go to the good old Amazon or wherever you shop for some different lenses. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.